The jungle was alive, but not with life that he knew. The air was thick, heavy with the smell of wet earth and strange, unknown plants. Shadows twisted between the trees like they had a mind of their own. Birds sang quietly, but the sound seemed off, too sharp, too sudden. Somewhere deep in the darkness, a scream shattered the night. It was not human. It was loud, high, and filled with fear. Only one man heard it. He stopped in his tracks, his heart pounding so hard it felt like it would burst from his chest. He had been walking through this jungle for hours, following a narrow, winding trail he barely remembered finding. But now, that scream froze him. It was desperate, full of pain, and it was calling for help. He looked around. Moonlight barely reached through the thick canopy above. The jungle seemed alive in a different way now. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a branch sounded like a warning. But he could not ignore the scream. Someone, or something, needed him. He moved carefully. Each step was slow, deliberate, so he would not make a sound. His boots sank slightly into the damp ground. The jungle floor was uneven, full of roots and fallen branches that could trip him at any moment. Still, he pressed forward, guided by the sound of the alien scream. As he walked, he noticed strange things. Footprints, not human, not any animal he had seen before. They glowed faintly in the dark, like they had some kind of energy running through them. He bent down, touching one with his gloved hand. It felt warm, alive in a way he could not understand. His mind raced. What was this creature? Why was it here? The scream came again, louder this time, closer. He followed it, slipping between the massive trees and thick vines. The sound led him deeper into the jungle than he had ever gone. Darkness wrapped around him like a blanket, and he had to use his small flashlight. Its weak beam revealed twisted vines, bright-colored mushrooms, and strange flowers that pulsed slightly as if they were breathing. Then he saw it. At first he thought it was a trick of the light, a figure struggling in the undergrowth, moving but not like a human. Its skin was pale, almost shimmering under the weak moonlight. Its eyes glowed softly, a bright, unnatural color. The man froze. His heart was racing, but he could not turn away. The figure was caught in something, a trap, not a normal trap. It looked like metal, but it was smooth, glowing with strange symbols. The alien creature was trapped by its leg, and it screamed again. The sound was full of pain, fear, and something else. Hope. It was hoping he would help. He took a cautious step forward. The alien's eyes widened at him. Then it did something unexpected. It spoke, not in words, at least not words he understood. The sound was strange, almost like music, but somehow he understood its meaning. It was begging him to help. His mind raced. Should he help? Could he help? What if it was dangerous? But the scream, the pain, the fear in its eyes, he could not leave it there. He knelt carefully beside the trap, examining the strange glowing metal. It seemed alive, almost aware of him touching it. Every time he moved a hand, the trap pulsed with light. The alien struggled, but carefully. It did not attack. Its eyes stayed on him, full of hope. He realized it was alone. No one else was coming. It depended on him. And in that moment, he made a choice. He would try to free it. But the jungle was not silent. He could hear movement all around, rustling leaves, snapping branches, faint whispers he could not identify. He felt eyes on him, watching. Something was out there, something big, something that wanted this alien as much as he did. He worked quickly. His hands were steady, even though his heart was pounding. He touched the trap again. It was warm, almost like it recognized his touch. The alien made a soft sound of encouragement. Then suddenly the trap tightened for a moment, glowing brighter. The man jumped back, startled. He realized this was no ordinary trap. This was a machine designed to hold this creature and perhaps others against their will. The scream came again, louder this time. He looked around, but the jungle seemed empty. Still, the sound echoed, carrying fear and urgency. The man knew time was short. Whoever, or whatever, set this trap could return at any moment, and he had no idea what he was dealing with. Finally, after careful work, he managed to loosen the trap. It clicked and hissed, releasing the alien's leg. The creature stepped out, limping slightly. It looked at him with gratitude. Its eyes glowed brighter, and for a moment he saw something familiar, a spark of intelligence, fear, and life that reminded him that this being, though alien, was not so different from him. But before he could speak, the jungle moved. Shadows shifted. Eyes glowed in the darkness. He realized the danger was far from over. The trap had been just the beginning, and the scream, he knew it would come again from others, from deeper in the jungle. He took a deep breath and stepped closer to the alien. "We need to move," he whispered, mostly to himself. The creature nodded, and together they disappeared into the dark, wild jungle, leaving the trap and the first scream behind. Somewhere above them, in the thick canopy, the jungle seemed to watch. and the man knew this night had only just begun. The jungle was quieter now, but the quiet was not comforting. It pressed on the man like a heavy blanket. Every sound, the soft crunch of leaves underfoot, the distant snap of a branch, the faint hum of unseen insects, felt magnified. He led the alien woman, careful not to make a sound, deeper into the forest. The alien moved slowly, limping from the trap's bite, but she stayed close to him. Her glowing eyes flickered in the dark, scanning Evertar's shadow. He couldn't tell what she feared more, the hunters who had trapped her or the strange jungle that seemed alive. Her skin shimmered faintly under the moonlight, a soft silver-blue glow, and when she looked at him, he could almost see her thoughts reaching out. She was trying to communicate, but not with words. With feelings, he thought, trying to understand her strange, silent language. Branches reached out like hands, grabbing at his jacket. The jungle seemed to resist their movement. But he had no choice. He could not leave her behind. He followed a faint trail of glowing footprints, like breadcrumbs leading them deeper into the unknown. The footprints pulsed softly, as if the alien's energy left marks on the ground. Suddenly, the alien stopped. She turned her head toward a nearby tree. Her glowing eyes were wide. The man froze. Something was there, something unnatural. A low hum vibrated through the air, faint but insistent, like a warning. He squinted into the darkness. Then he saw it, a pair of eyes, too bright and too large for any animal he knew. The creature stepped forward, and he realized it was not an animal. Its body was sleek, covered in thin, metallic-like scales. Its movements were smooth, almost robotic, yet graceful. It stared at them, calculating, waiting. The alien woman hissed softly, a sound that made the man shiver. It was not anger. It was fear, and a warning. The man understood. They could not fight this, not now. They had to move, silently. He whispered, "This way," pointing toward a narrow path between thick vines. The alien nodded. Together they slipped into the undergrowth, their movements cautious. Every step felt like it could give them away. The metallic creature watched for a moment longer, then vanished into the shadows. The man could hear its silent footsteps fading away, but he knew it would not give up. They walked for what felt like hours. The alien occasionally touched his shoulder with a gentle glow from her hand. It was reassuring, like she was saying, "You're not alone." The man tried to understand more about her. She was intelligent, obviously, not human, but also frightened. And the way she moved, careful and precise, made him think she was used to being hunted. Suddenly, the alien stopped again. Her glow intensified, lighting up the jungle around them. There, in a small clearing, was a pool of water, perfectly still and clear. She stepped forward, touched the water, and immediately froze. The man watched as the water's surface rippled, not from her touch, but as if something beneath the pool was moving. Then it rose, a small, glowing creature, shaped like a jellyfish, but with legs and sharp claws. It stared at them, its bioluminescent body pulsing like a warning light. The alien hissed, and the man instinctively reached for a branch to defend them, but the alien raised her hand. The glowing creature stopped moving, her eyes focused on it, communicating silently. The man realized she was speaking to it in her strange, silent language. The creature paused, then slowly sank back into the water. The alien exhaled in relief, her glowing body dimming slightly. She looked at him with something like gratitude. He nodded, understanding that this jungle was full of dangers, and she had survived because she knew how to talk to them. "Why are you here?" he asked aloud, almost forgetting she might not understand words. She tilted her head, glowing softly, and for a moment he felt a connection, a silent understanding. She was alone, hunted, and desperate. And now, he was part of her fight. As they moved again, he noticed strange symbols carved into the trees, glowing faintly. They were not human markings. They pulsed like the trap she had been caught in, as if the jungle itself was recording something, sending messages. The man shivered. This was bigger than he imagined. The trap, the glowing footprints, the creatures, everything hinted at a presence, a force in this jungle he did not understand. Suddenly, the alien froze again, her glow flaring bright. She pointed toward a dense thicket ahead. The man followed her gaze. There, caught in the vines, was another trap, similar to the first. And inside it, something small and moving. Another alien? He could not tell, but the sound it made was pitiful, weak, almost like it was begging for help. The man felt a surge of fear. If hunters had set multiple traps, then the alien woman was not the only one being hunted. There could be more, and they were all in danger. He realized the jungle was not just dangerous because of its natural threats. Something, or someone, was orchestrating it, hunting creatures he could barely understand. He took a deep breath, glancing at the alien woman. Her eyes glowed, intense with fear and determination. Together, they had to move carefully. One wrong step, one careless move, and they could be trapped, or worse. He felt a strange bond forming, not just of survival, but of trust. She depended on him, and he depended on her. As they edged closer to the trap, the jungle seemed to hold its breath. Even the wind stopped. Leaves hung still in the air. The man whispered to himself, "We can do this. We have to." The alien woman responded with a soft, glowing hum, as if she understood. And then, from the shadows above, a distant scream echoed again. Not her scream this time. Another. Somewhere deeper in the jungle, more beings were in danger. The man's heart pounded. He realized their journey had only just begun, and that the jungle was full of mysteries, dangers, and secrets that would test them both in ways he could not imagine. He tightened his grip on a sturdy branch, ready for whatever came next. The alien woman followed silently, her glow dim but steady. Together they stepped forward into the unknown. The jungle had changed. It felt heavier now, darker, almost alive with something that watched them. Every step the man took echoed in the silence, but he knew it was not the jungle alone that heard him. He could feel eyes on them, hunters, predators, or something far stranger. The alien woman limped beside him, her glow faint, pulsing like a heartbeat in the darkness. They moved carefully, twisting through thick vines and over roots that threatened to trip them. The man noticed strange sounds around them, soft clicks, rustles, whispers that didn't belong to the wind. The alien woman's ears flicked and she paused, her body tense. She looked at him with glowing eyes, warning him to stop. Then it came, a low, rumbling growl, deep and unnatural. The man froze. It was close. Something large moved between the trees, almost invisible in the dark. He could barely make out the outline of its body. It was fast, silent, and it was coming straight for them. The alien hissed softly, almost like a warning. She reached out, touching his arm, and for a brief moment he felt her thoughts. Danger. Run. Don't stop. But the trap they had seen earlier was close. They needed to free the other creature, or risk leaving it behind. The man nodded. Together they sprinted toward the thicket, dodging low branches and slipping over damp leaves. The growl followed, growing louder, closer. He could hear it breathing, a sound that shook the air around them. Suddenly, the jungle exploded with movement. Shadows leapt from the trees, and small glowing predators, no bigger than dogs but faster than any animal he had seen, joined the hunt. They circled, eyes glowing, claws clicking against the jungle floor. The man grabbed the alien woman, pulling her down into a small depression in the ground. She glowed faintly, hiding them from view. The creatures paused, sniffing the air, scanning the darkness. For minutes that felt like hours, they stood still, holding their breath, listening. Then, as suddenly as they appeared, they moved away. The man exhaled slowly, but the relief was brief. He knew it was only temporary. The hunters, or whatever they were, would return. They continued. The alien woman led him toward a hidden path, her glowing feet leaving faint marks on the jungle floor. He noticed strange vines curling around the trees, moving as if alive. Some of the plants reacted to their presence, snapping or twisting. He realized the jungle itself was not neutral. It was part of the danger, part of the puzzle. Finally, they reached the trap. Another alien, smaller this time, struggled against the glowing bonds. Its body pulsed faintly, a soft blue light, weaker than the first alien woman. The man approached carefully. The glowing trap was more advanced than anything he had ever seen. It had smooth metal bands, etched with symbols that pulsed like circuits. As he tried to loosen it, the alien woman hissed, glowing brighter. Something was coming. He looked up and saw it, an enormous hunter. It moved like a shadow, tall and armored, carrying a weapon that glowed with the same symbols as the trap. Its eyes were bright, calculating, focused on them. The man froze. This was no ordinary predator. This was intelligent, and it was hunting them deliberately. He glanced at the alien woman. She touched his shoulder, and he felt her thoughts. Do not fight. Escape. He realized they had no choice. The trap had to wait. Together they dragged the smaller alien into the shadows, moving as quietly as possible. The hunter moved closer, its weapon scanning the jungle. Every rustle made it pause. Every shadow made it tilt its head, alert. Then, a branch snapped under his foot. The hunter froze. Its glowing eyes turned toward them. Time slowed. The man grabbed the alien woman's hand, and they ran, sprinting into the thicker jungle. The hunter fired a beam, slicing through a tree just behind them. The light seared the darkness, revealing their path for a brief moment. They twisted and turned, dodging. Falling branches and vines. The smaller alien followed, stumbling but determined. The jungle seemed to close in on them, but somehow they moved faster, guided by the alien woman's instincts. The man realized she understood the jungle in ways he never could. She knew which paths were safe, which shadows hid them, which predators could be avoided. After what felt like hours, they reached a narrow cliffside overlooking a river. The water below glowed faintly under the moonlight, reflecting the trees like a mirror. The hunter was still behind them, but here, the man and the aliens had a chance. The alien woman touched his arm again, her glow pulsed rapidly, sending a signal. He realized she was giving him a choice: jump into the river and escape, or stay and fight. He nodded, understanding. Together they ran to the edge and leapt. The water swallowed them, cold, fast, and dark. The hunter stopped at the cliff's edge, its glowing eyes scanning, but it did not follow. For a moment, there was silence. Only the rushing river and their heavy breaths. They surfaced downstream, gasping. The smaller alien looked weak but alive. The jungle behind them seemed quieter now, but the danger was far from over. The man looked at the alien woman. Her glow had dimmed slightly, but her eyes were fierce. She had led them through the first chase, but he knew the hunters would not give up. "Thank you," he whispered, though she did not understand the words. She simply nodded, touching his shoulder in silent acknowledgement. Then, without warning, the jungle around them stirred again. Distant screams echoed, not human, not animal, more like the first scream he had heard. Others were trapped, others needed help. The man's heart pounded. The chase had begun, but it would not end tonight. The jungle was alive with threats, and the hunter was only one of many dangers. Somewhere deeper, more traps, more aliens, more hunters waited. And he realized, with a mixture of fear and determination, that he and the alien woman had only just started their fight to survive, and is to save the others. Together, they moved upstream, disappearing into the darkness, leaving the river behind, but carrying the weight of the chase in every heartbeat. The jungle was still, for now, but the night was far from over. The jungle seemed calm at first, but the man knew better. After the chase through the river and cliffs, the darkness felt heavier, more alive. Every sound, the rustle of leaves, the distant crash of falling branches, the faint hum of unseen creatures, made him uneasy. He tightened his grip on a sturdy stick, ready for whatever might come. The alien woman moved beside him, limping slightly but glowing softly, guiding the way. They had escaped the first hunter, but the jungle was not safe. The man could feel it in his bones. Something else was out there, watching them. It was subtle, almost invisible, but the air itself seemed tense, as if the jungle was holding its breath. The alien woman paused, glowing brighter, her eyes scanning the shadows. She made a soft sound, a warning. The man froze. From somewhere deep in the trees, a faint whisper echoed. It was not human, not animal. It was a low, vibrating sound like electricity running through leaves. The man's heart raced. The alien woman's glow pulsed faster. She moved closer to him, pressing her small hand against his chest. He felt her thoughts, urgent and clear. Danger, not what you know. Watch, listen. They continued cautiously, moving along a narrow path. The jungle grew thicker, the trees towering overhead, blocking the moonlight. Strange plants with sharp, curved leaves leaned toward them as they passed, as if sensing their presence. The man noticed faint tracks on the ground, glowing slightly. They were not the hunters, not human. They were fresh and led deeper into the darkness. "Are there more of them?" he whispered. The alien woman tilted her head, then extended her glowing hand to touch the ground. Light spread from her fingers into the footprints. For a moment, the jungle seemed to respond. The glowing tracks pulsed and shifted, pointing them toward a hidden clearing. The man followed, unsure whether it was a trap or guidance. When they reached the clearing, he gasped. Strange structures rose from the ground, thin, spindly towers, glowing with faint blue light. They were made of metal and vines intertwined, unlike anything human-made. The alien woman's eyes widened and she moved closer to him. Her glow brightened, almost frantic. "These are hunting devices," the man whispered, realizing what they were. The towers emitted a soft hum, scanning the jungle around them. They were traps, more advanced than the ones they had seen. They were not just mechanical, they were alive, integrated with the jungle itself. Whoever, or whatever, made them had full control of this forest. The alien woman reached out, touching one of the glowing towers. Her eyes flared with light. The tower reacted immediately, pulsing and retracting slightly as if recognizing her. She made another sound, higher this time, almost melodic. The man watched, fascinated and terrified. She was communicating with the machines, and the jungle responded. Suddenly, a distant scream echoed. The man flinched. It was another alien trapped somewhere nearby. The alien woman's glow pulsed rapidly, faster than ever. She made a sharp sound, almost like a command. The towers responded, shifting slightly, but the scream continued. Something, or someone, was defying her control. The man realized the hunters were not human, or if they were, they had technology far beyond anything he knew. They were organized, intelligent, and patient. They had set up the jungle itself as a weapon. The alien woman glanced at him, her eyes full of fear and urgency. She pressed her hand against his chest again. "We must move. Now." As they turned to leave, movement flickered in the shadows. Tall, humanoid figures emerged, armored in the same strange metal as the traps. Their eyes glowed with red, scanning. The alien woman hissed. She reached out and he felt her thoughts. Do not fight. Hide. Survive. They ducked behind a thick tree, barely breathing. The hunters passed, slow and deliberate, their weapons scanning. The man could see the faint outline of strange devices attached to their armor, pulsing in sync with the towers. Every step they took seemed to make the jungle itself tremble. Once the hunters moved past, the alien woman guided him along a hidden path. She explained, without words, that her species was being hunted across planets. These hunters were relentless, capturing or killing any of her kind. She was one of the last survivors, and she could sense others, trapped and struggling somewhere in the forest. The man's mind raced. He had stumbled into something much bigger than he imagined. This was no ordinary jungle. It was a battlefield, a hunting ground, and he was now part of it. But the alien woman's determination gave him courage. She would survive, and he would help her, no matter what. They stopped at a small cave hidden by vines. Inside, the alien woman touched the walls, sending faint pulses of light through the rock. He realized she was mapping the area, creating a safe space where the hunters could not follow. The cave was small, but it offered protection. As they rested, the man glanced at her. Her glowing eyes reflected the dim light of the cave. "How many more?" he asked quietly. She did not answer in words. Instead, her glow pulsed, slower now, almost rhythmic. He understood. There were many, many more, trapped, waiting, in pain, calling out. The jungle outside remained silent for a moment, but the man knew it was only waiting. The unseen threat was still out there, watching, calculating, and they would return. He clenched his fists, determination rising in him. They had survived this far, but the jungle was not done with them. He looked at the alien woman. Her eyes met his, glowing softly. Together, they would face what came next. They had no choice. The unseen threat was real, dangerous, and relentless. And somewhere deeper in the jungle, more cries echoed. Their journey had only begun. The jungle was alive with tension. Every leaf, every branch, every shadow seemed to move with purpose. The man and the alien woman had no time to rest. The glow from her skin pulsed rapidly, warning him that danger was near. They had barely recovered from the last chase when the hunters returned, and this time, they were prepared. From the darkness, the tall figures emerged. Their armor glinted faintly under the moonlight, and strange weapons hummed with energy. The man's heart pounded. There was no chance to hide this time. They had to fight, or be captured. The alien woman hissed a warning. Her glow flared bright, and he felt her thoughts. "Follow my lead. Do not separate. Trust me." She moved quickly, agile despite the limp from the trap. He mirrored her movements, staying close, gripping the branch tightly like a weapon. The hunters struck first. Beams of energy cut through the trees, sending sparks and splinters flying. The man ducked behind a large root, feeling the heat pass just above his head. The alien woman sprang forward, her glowing hands slicing through the undergrowth. Vines twisted, falling branches struck hunters, and in a blur, she created chaos. The man took a deep breath. He realized the jungle could be used as a weapon. He grabbed fallen branches and rocks, hurling them with precision. One of the hunters staggered back as a heavy vine wrapped around its leg, pulled by the alien's glowing energy. The man felt a rush of adrenaline. They could fight. Together. But the hunters were intelligent. They adapted quickly, moving as a unit, cutting off escape paths. One hunter fired a beam at the smaller alien they had rescued earlier. The man jumped, throwing his body between them. The beam seared past his shoulder, narrowly missing him. Pain shot through him, but he did not fall. Survival depended on action, not fear. The alien woman moved beside him, glowing brighter, sending waves of energy that confused the hunter's sensors. She hissed, pushing them back, giving the man a chance to free the smaller alien. He tugged at the glowing trap bands, heart racing. With a loud snap, the bonds released and the smaller aliens stumbled forward, joining their side. Now there were 3 against several hunters, but the odds were still impossible. The man's mind raced. He noticed the jungle itself could fight for them. Thick vines twisted and curled at his signal. Large roots lifted like tentacles, knocking hunters off balance. Birds and small creatures, sensing the chaos, screeched and attacked, diving at exposed faces. Every moment the jungle reacted to their survival instinct. The hunters adapted, firing continuously, their glowing weapons cutting through foliage. One beam struck a tree, which fell, narrowly missing the man and alien woman. They rolled aside, landing in a shallow trench formed by roots and rocks. The smaller alien hissed, glowing with determination, ready to help. Then, something unexpected happened. The alien woman touched the ground, sending pulses of light through the roots. The jungle itself moved like a living creature. Vines erupted from the soil, wrapping around the hunters, holding them in place. They struggled, sparks flying as their weapons collided with the glowing plant matter. The man grinned, realizing they were not just fighting, they were becoming part of the jungle's will. But victory was not yet theirs. One hunter broke free, taller and faster than the rest. It charged, energy weapon raised, aiming straight at the man. He felt panic, but the alien woman reacted instantly. She surged forward, glowing fiercely, and slammed her hands into the hunter's chest. A bright pulse of energy shot out, throat. Winged the hunter backward into a tree. The smaller alien joined in, striking with sharp, glowing claws. The hunter tried to rise, but together, the 2 aliens and the man pushed it back. Another pulse from the alien woman sent vines whipping through the clearing, knocking down the remaining hunters. Sparks, energy beams, and glowing light filled the jungle, creating a chaotic, electric battlefield. For a moment, they stood amidst the chaos, breathing heavily, ready for the next attack. The hunters were down but not destroyed. The jungle around them was torn, branches and vines hanging, scorched leaves drifting through the air. The man realized something. This fight was only the beginning. The hunters would return, stronger and smarter. The alien woman looked at him, her glowing eyes filled with determination and gratitude. She touched his arm, sending a small pulse of reassurance. He nodded, feeling a strange bond of trust and respect forming between them. Survival was not enough anymore. They had to fight for freedom, for the others, for her people. As they moved cautiously away from the clearing, the jungle seemed to settle, quiet for a moment. But the man knew the peace would not last. Somewhere deeper in the darkness, more hunters waited, more traps were set, and more cries echoed through the trees. The fight was far from over. The man glanced at the alien woman. She limped slightly but held herself with strength and resolve. Together, they had survived the jungle fight, but the unseen threat still hunted them. The path ahead was dangerous, full of unknown creatures and intelligent enemies. But for the first time, he felt hope. They had survived once. They could survive again. And somewhere in the shadows, the jungle watched, alive and aware, ready to test them further. The man tightened his grip on the branch, stepping forward with the aliens at his side. The fight was far from over, and the jungle still held many secrets and many dangers. The jungle was quiet now, but the silence was tense, filled with hidden threats. The man and the alien woman moved cautiously through thick undergrowth, aware that the hunters could return at any moment. The smaller alien followed closely, its glowing body dim but alert. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig made them pause. After the fight in the clearing, the man felt exhausted, but curiosity burned inside him. He had to know more about the alien woman. Why was she here? Why was she hunted? She noticed his hesitation and stopped. Her glowing eyes met his, intense and urgent. She reached out, touching his chest gently. He felt a rush of thoughts, not words, but emotions, images, and memories flowing into him. He saw flashes of a distant planet, blue and green, with towering cities and glowing landscapes. There were others like her, tall, graceful, with shimmering skin and eyes that glowed like moons. But then the images shifted. He saw hunters, ships descending, capturing and destroying everything. The aliens ran, hiding in forests, caves, and jungles across worlds. Most of her kind had been killed. The man staggered back, overwhelmed. You're the last of your kind?" he whispered. The alien woman nodded, her glow dimming as sadness filled the air around them. She touched her chest, and he felt a deep emptiness, a loneliness that stretched across the stars. She had been hunted, trapped, and left to survive alone. Suddenly, her glow brightened sharply, and she pointed to a faint holographic map she created with her hands. Light pulsed into the air, forming images of distant lands, jungle pathways, and small glowing dots, other aliens trapped or hiding in the forest. The man realized this was more than a jungle. It was a hunting ground, a maze designed to capture her kind. "We need to help them," he whispered. The alien woman's eyes pulsed softly, communicating a silent agreement. She moved forward, guiding him along hidden paths only she could sense. Every step revealed more evidence of the hunter's plans: traps, cages, glowing sensors embedded in trees, and devices that pulsed with alien energy. The forest itself had been weaponized. As they moved deeper, the alien woman stopped suddenly. Her glow flared and she gestured toward a fallen tree. Beneath it, partially hidden, was another alien, weak and trapped. Its body shimmered faintly, glowing weakly like the others. The man rushed to free it, his hands shaking. The alien woman hovered close, pulsing with energy, warning him to hurry. Finally, the alien was free. It stumbled forward, collapsing into the small clearing. Its glow grew brighter as it regained strength. The man felt hope rising. There were survivors. Others could be saved, but the danger was far from over. The alien woman then touched his shoulder, her glow steady now. He felt her thoughts, images, and feelings merging. Her planet, her people, the hunters, the traps. She had knowledge and power beyond anything he could imagine, but she needed help to save the others, and now he was part of her fight. Suddenly, a distant rumble shook the ground. The man and the aliens froze. From the treetops, glowing shapes descended. More hunters, faster and stronger than before. Their weapons hummed with energy, scanning the forest, tracking movement. The alien woman's glow flared fiercely, warning the others. She communicated quickly with them, a silent plan forming. The man realized they had no choice. They had to move, but this time they were not running blindly. With the alien woman's guidance, they slipped through hidden paths, avoided traps, and used the jungle itself as a shield. The hunters were intelligent, but they could not anticipate the alien's intimate knowledge of the forest. As they moved, the alien revealed more secrets. She was not only a survivor, she had been trained to protect her kind, to navigate dangers, and to fight when necessary. The man realized the true scope of what they were up against. This was not just survival, it was war, and the jungle walk is the battlefield. Finally, they reached a hidden cave, safe for the moment. Inside, the alien created a holographic map again, showing the remaining trapped aliens, their locations, and the hunters' patrols. The man understood the magnitude of their mission. They were not just escaping, they had to rescue others, and every step could mean life or death. He looked at the alien woman, her glowing eyes filled with determination. Despite the fear and danger, there was hope. They had survived chases, fights, and the jungle itself. Now they had a purpose beyond survival. Together they would uncover the secrets of the hunters, save the remaining aliens, and maybe, just maybe, give her species a chance to survive. Outside, the jungle was quiet once more, but the man knew the calm would not last. The unseen threat still lurked, and the hunters would return. He tightened his grip on the glowing alien woman's hand, ready for the next challenge. The secret had been revealed, but the fight was only beginning. The jungle was alive with sound. The man could hear the faint rustle of leaves, the distant calls of unseen creatures, and most importantly, the hunters. They were coming, faster this time, louder, more organized. The alien woman's glow flared bright, illuminating their path through the thick undergrowth. The smaller aliens followed closely, each one trembling with fear but moving with determination. The man's heart raced. They had survived chases and fights before, but now it felt different. The hunters had learned. They were no longer just chasing, they were hunting with purpose. Every step through the jungle was a test of skill, courage, and instinct. The alien woman moved ahead, guiding them toward a narrow canyon that could serve as a shortcut to safety. Suddenly, a loud mechanical hum filled the air. From the treetops, hunters descended in small, hovering pods. Air weapons glowed brightly, scanning the forest. The man ducked behind a large tree. The alien woman grabbed his arm, her glow pulsing rapidly. He felt her thoughts. "Move! Now! Don't stop!" They ran. The jungle blurred around them as branches and roots whipped past. The smaller aliens struggled to keep up, but the alien woman slowed just enough to guide them. One hunter fired a beam that scorched a nearby tree. The man dove to the side, feeling the heat pass just inches from his face. He glanced back. Another hunter was closing in, faster than anything he had imagined. They reached the canyon. The walls were steep, but the alien woman guided them along a hidden ledge. The man could see the river below, glowing faintly under the moonlight. It was their only chance. Without hesitation, they leapt into the water, plunging into the cold, fast current. The smaller aliens followed, struggling against the flow. The man grabbed one, holding it above the water as they were carried downstream. Above them, the hunters reached the edge of the canyon. Beams of energy sliced through the night, illuminating the river. The man's heart pounded as he felt one beam graze his shoulder. Pain shot through him, but he did not stop. The alien woman's glow guided them, creating a faint shield that diverted some of the energy. Together, they moved with the current, tumbling over rocks, narrowly avoiding fallen branches. Finally, the river widened into a calmer pool. They surfaced, gasping, wet and exhausted, but alive. The alien woman floated beside him, her glow steady now, but her eyes sharp. The smaller aliens were safe for the moment, and the man felt a surge of relief. But it was short-lived. From the trees above, a low, chilling sound echoed, a signal. The hunters were regrouping. The man looked at the alien woman. She touched his arm, and he felt her thoughts. This is not over. They will return, stronger. Her glow pulsed with determination. Survival alone was not enough. They had to fight, but they also had to escape. He nodded. Together they motoned along the riverbank, hiding in shadows, using the terrain to stay ahead. The jungle seemed to respond, twisting around them, hiding their trail. Strange creatures scuttled through the undergrowth, some curious, some dangerous, but none interfered. The alien woman's presence seemed to command the forest, at least enough to give them a temporary advantage. Hours passed. The man's body ached, but his resolve was stronger than ever. They reached a hidden cave at the base of a cliff. The entrance was small, barely visible. Inside, it was safe for now. The alien woman created a small light field to illuminate the interior. She touched the walls, and faint holographic maps appeared, showing the hunters' patrols, traps, and locations of the remaining captured aliens. The man realized the scope of the challenge. They had escaped the immediate danger, but the hunt was far from over. More aliens were trapped, and the hunters were relentless. This jungle was not just a battlefield, it was a test, a trap, and a prison for her species, and he was now part of the fight to save them all. He looked at the alien woman. Her eyes glowed softly, filled with gratitude and determination. She had revealed her secrets, her past, and the hidden network of survivors. Now, they had a mission: rescue, survive, and strike back if necessary. Outside, the jungle was quiet again, almost as if it were holding its breath. The man tightened his grip on a small branch, ready for whatever came next. The alien woman hovered close, her glow steady, her eyes alert. The smaller aliens rested for a moment, but he knew it was only temporary. The hunters would return. Then, from the sky above the jungle, a faint signal appeared. Glowing streaks of light, not like anything he had seen before. The alien woman's glow flared bright, and she hissed a warning. It was not the hunters this time. Something else was coming. Something larger. Something from beyond the stars. The man swallowed hard, realizing their journey was far from over. The jungle, the hunters, the traps. They were only the beginning. The alien woman touched his arm, sending a pulse of thought. Prepare. They are coming. Together, they stepped out of the cave, ready to face whatever awaited. The jungle stretched before them, dark and alive, full of danger, mystery, and unknown threats. But for the first time, the man felt a strange certainty. They had survived this far, and they could survive the next challenge. And somewhere, high above, glowing lights moved across the sky. The hunt had ended for now, but a greater threat loomed. The jungle whispered, the aliens glowed, and the man knew one thing for sure. This was only the beginning.